If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, it's free. Second, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else podcasts are heard. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
The stories, the hustle, the grind, the push, the pain, the time, blood, the sweat, the tears, goes beyond the lights, the stage, the fame, and the message stays the same. You're listening to the Indie Takeover.
What up, y'all? This is Gene Noble, and you're listening to the Indie Takeover.
You want war and I want peace, but I'll fight you in these streets. If it means one less mother's gotta cry tonight. I got hope, but you got guns, and they're pointed at my sons. So I gotta switch up real quick, or I won't survive. We get no justice, and we take too much. You keep pushing till I'm backed up against the wall. Hey, there's no mistake. Every life you take, the same men you want for me is gonna be a fall. Yeah. How much more can we take till we rise up and say, whoa, too many lost. Show respect for my life, and we all will survive. Whoa, too many lost. Yeah, I don't have another cheek. Yeah, and I don't have a prayer to speak. Yeah, but I got a promise to keep. Yeah. I wanna call this place my home, but I just don't feel safe alone. Yeah. Imagine how that takes a toll. Yeah. We get no justice, and we take too much. You keep pushing till I'm backed up against the wall. Hey, there's no mistake. Every life you take, the same men you want for me is gonna be a fall. Yeah. How much more can we take till we rise up and say, whoa, too many lost. Show respect for my life, and we all will survive. Whoa, too many lost. I hope you know karma's gonna come back around. Yeah. And everything you do to us gonna bring you down. The powers that be all want us to divide, when we should be standing side by side.
First John. The next verse is for Trayvon the Ether, and I embrace y'all with napalm. You too could be at home and safe from that bass drum if you look like Jake from State Farm. My wallet is in my khakis, in my back pocket, but don't even ask me. I wouldn't reach for a baton and a track meet. The cop says freeze, I see Kanika walk past me. Don't scare me, colonizer. Do I die if I fail that breathalyzer? I ask Tiger. Sandy speaks. I can't breathe. Hands up, but don't fire. Justice for Stefan. The only question who's next to be unarmed. It's all true. We wanted peace. You want war? Guess what? We want war too.
Welcome to the Indie Takeover. This is your host, Jeremy Gibson, and I am joined by the vocal phenomenon himself, Gene Noble.
What up,
Listen,
man?
if you don't know who he is or have not heard him, I won't front like I've been a fan for a long time, because I really just came up on you a couple of months ago.
Okay.
At the beginning of
That's
the
all right.
quarantine. And since then I've been playing catch up. But it's been dope.
Thank you, man.
So I'll say this. I'll before I go into my stuff about how I happened upon who you are, I want you to share with the people that may not know who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
All right. I'm a singer, songwriter. I'm from New York. I'm a musician. You know, I've toured with a bunch of people, and I've written for a bunch of people, and I put out some independent music myself, and now I'm signed to Hidden Beach, and I'm really excited to be releasing my first solo album. So, yeah.
Listen, and I've listened to the previous music, so I'm looking forward to it too. Now, I'll tell you this. A couple of months ago, quarantine happened. Tyler Perry put out a challenge for everybody to sing he has the whole world in his hands.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, you know, I'm bored on quarantine. I'm going through my Instagram, and someone else posted a video of your live where you were, you know, just freestyling on the looper, doing your thing.
Yeah.
When I tell you I watched that video at least 50 times, like, I was like, yo, this dude is nuts. Like, the range, the choices, like, it was nuts. Like,
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
This dude is super talented. So, of course, you know, you find somebody that's new, you trying to see everything that they have, right? So I'm looking at your other videos and all this stuff, and I'm like, I got to interview this cat. I have to. So thank you so much for your time. I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
I'm glad we were too, man. Excited.
Yeah, man. It is crazy. We're definitely living in crazy, crazy times. And you have been very vocal, very passionate about what is happening in our social climate. And I kind of want to start in that direction and just do a check-in. How have you been feeling as a Black man and dealing with kind of the uneasiness and the unrest of our social climate?
You know, at first I was really upset and hurt, but now I'm just really honestly energized and determined and charged to go. You know, I haven't stopped moving since this happened, and I think that, you know, I've taken it on myself for this to be part of my job, which is, you know, just making sure that we're good. You know what I mean? We as a people are good. So that's now become a second full-time job for me, which I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that change, and I'm glad to see that there's so many more people standing up for us, and it's not just us by ourselves this time. That makes me feel good about it, and I feel optimistic that things are going to get better, because I really don't think anybody is willing to stop at this point until things get better. So, you know, I think that as much as it's terrible, all the things that have happened, I think that the fact that they happened back to back and that everybody was able to see it, it just was a tipping point. You know, it was like the final straw. And it's crazy because when I wrote the Road Too Many Lost, it was about another killing, it was about another time. And I never imagined that I would release the song and that there would be 4 high-profile killings since I released the song, which is only a month, you know? And so it's crazy because it's kind of like become like an anthem for this moment when I was really venting about Stephon Clark and, you know, just that moment that happened. And there's been so many killings since then. And it's crazy that, you know, we're still dealing with this. So, yes, it's hurtful. Yes, it's upsetting. But the most important thing is that I'm in a better position now to be able to affect change as far as like using my platform and, you know, donating and getting people out and aiding with the protests and helping bail out protesters and just educating people. Because a lot of times it's some of our closest people that just don't get it, that really just don't get it. And you have to really like be patient and explain to them, you know, because honestly, I don't think a lot of us would get a lot of it if it wasn't directly affecting us, you know?
Right.
So.
Right. I agree. I wanted to do that check-in because I feel I had a talk with one of my brothers the other day, and we were just talking about as Black men, and I won't just say Black men, but Black women. We have to check in with each other. You know, we're dealing with a lot, and a lot of us in our lifetime. I don't know exactly how old you are, but I know you probably weren't born in the '60s, so a lot of us haven't experienced this much of like social and civil unrest and are dealing with kind of the anxiety and the tension that is unreal. You know, we haven't really seen and had to endure so much in such a short amount of time, like you said. So I'm making a conscious effort to check in and just make sure that there is someone that's saying like, hey, are you okay? You know,
I mean, that's also been another positive change that I honestly could say is that, like, I've had some really amazing conversations with my friends that I've never had before, and I've shared things with them, they've shared things with me, and we have been doing more check-ins and just more to keep our own minds together, like to make sure that everybody's good, and that's been another cool welcome change that's come from this. You know, I mean, obviously it's tragic, but it's like what's making me hopeful is the response, everybody's response to it. Well, mostly everybody.
Absolutely. And I feel like as creatives, one of the things about us is that we emote and we're very transparent, and a lot of what we give is ourselves, you know. And I feel very strongly like your song that you just mentioned. I feel like what is very accessible is just the ability to create, whether it be, you know, visual art, whether it be, you know, a screenplay or a song or just any type of creation. I think is very healing, very necessary. So I want to kind of go back to how you started. That's usually what I do. But
okay.
I want to go back to how you started, how music really became a part of the whole Gene Noble identity, you know?
Yeah, well, my mom is an amazing singer, and I come from a musical family, so I grew up in church around music my whole entire life. I was playing the piano since I was 5. You know, I was playing before I could actually play, just banging on it, and I was always singing, so that was something that was always a part of my life. And the writing came very early on, too. Really, at first it was more like, you know, poetry or whatever, but then, or raps or whatever, and then I kind of put the two things together. But yeah, music's always been a part of my life. It's always been my sanctuary. It's always been my own personal healing and my own personal therapy. So I'm just grateful that I've been able to like share that with people.
Now, you were raised in, I did my research, you were raised in Manhattan, Kansas? Or you were
I was
born
in Manhattan, Kansas, but I was raised in New York.
Knew there was a Manhattan, Kansas.
See, no one knows unless they are from there.
How big is that place?
Small, super small. So I'm a military brat. I grew up, you know, following my father around to different military bases. And then we settled finally in New York. And so I ended up living in New York for most of my life. I went to college in New York. And so I've been in New York my whole life. My mom still lives in the same house that I grew up in. So, yeah.
I love New York. I'm not from there. But
it's a great place. I love New York too.
It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
So in my research of you, I discovered that you spent a lot of time playing and singing at the Village Underground.
Yes, a whole lot of time.
For those that are under a rock and have no idea what the Village Underground is, please share with us what that culture, what that experience is, what it's like, and what it was like for you.
Okay, so coming up, you know, there was a place called Village Underground, a club in the city on West 3rd Street in Manhattan. It still exists, but really now they do more comedy than anything. But I came up at a time when everybody used to come through there. Every musician, every singer, every agent, every exec, every A&R, everybody used to come through there. And there would always be like I mean, just the most amazing singers and stuff like that. So I used to sneak in there before I could even legally get in there, just to hop on and play or sing or something like that. And really, I just kind of came up through the ranks. I mean, it was a really, really competitive environment, and it was a really everybody wanted to really shine in that moment, but the skills were so high that in order for you to stand out, you had to develop such a high skill level. So that was what was cool about it. It taught me how to improv. It taught me how to be a better singer. Shout out to Ron Grant and Melanie Daniels and Cheryl Pepsi Riley and Mike Davis. I mean, honestly, legitimately, my voice is somewhere a marriage of all of them, because they really are the parents of my voice. So I definitely listen to them more than anybody. I used to come in there every Sunday and just study and just listen and be in awe. So.
It's so funny you say that. And I'm not saying this just because you said it, but I had it in my notes. So I love Melanie Daniels. I love everybody you just mentioned, but Melanie Daniels specifically. In listening to your music and just the onus of your range, how you master head voice falsetto into the basement. I was like, yo, his bottom is crazy. I mean, and I love the fact that you know how to access it all, which very similarly, Melanie knows how to, so I was like, when I was reading that Village Underground was, where you kind of, were raised vocally or kind of, developed. I was like, yo, Melanie probably was, because I hear that influence so strong.
I grew up in Long Island. Melanie's from Long Island.
Right.
My birthday is May 9th. Melanie's is May 9th. And her and my mother are friends. So my mom would be in these choirs and they would sing together. And I was a little kid and I would literally just follow them around and just look at her and be like, what in the world? And I would ask her questions and just literally. So it's interesting that you put that together, because most people don't put that together because obviously she's a woman and I'm a guy. So most people don't put that together. But that's actually the closest person to my voice would be that voice, because I've listened to it since childhood and studied it since childhood.
And she's a beast, as you are yourself.
She's incredible. She's incredible. I call her the boss. She knows that.
Absolutely. And she's hilarious.
She is hilarious. And just such a good person. We're Tauruses, May 9th, that's good people.
I don't know if I know a lot of Taurus. No.
That's too bad. You live
I'll say two. You and Melanie.
That's right. There you go. That's all you need right there. That's two pretty badass Tauruses.
So I want to talk about how you made the decision. I know you were at Village, and which is it doesn't matter if you're from New York or not. Everybody knew. If you're a singer, musician, and you go to New York, the following question is, did you go to the Underground?
That's true. That is 100% true. It's funny because like I said, we used to sneak in there when we were kids, and then when we were finally, able to go, I remember some Sundays, I couldn't even afford to get into there, and someone would just sneak me in or whatever. Yeah. And then I would get up on stage and sing, and people would just throw money, and I would leave there with $500. But that's my roots. That's where I came from, and I really don't think I could have had a better place to learn and study my craft. Ron Grant taught me how to be a crooner and how to really make love to songs. Melanie, I told you, my voice is Melanie's voice. I verbatim studied her so much in life, and Cheryl taught me so much about conviction, and Cheryl has so much power in her voice.
Absolutely.
And Mike Davis is R&B all day. It's crazy that those people really did come together to create my own voice.
And I think a lot of people aren't able to create or pull from influences. Some people will emulate and just be, you don't sound like anybody else, but your voice is definitively you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I try to do that.
I love music, so I heard the melody in
I appreciate that. No, that's a good ear, because that's definitely spot on.
For sure. I'm telling you, I love New York. New York, I feel like God should have, allowed me to.
Where are you from?
I'm from California. I'm from the Bay.
Okay.
Love the Bay.
Listen, the Bay is where Daryl Coley's from, so.
Yo.
The other part of my voice is Daryl Coley.
I'm telling you, Daryl. My second cousins are the Hawkins. My mom's first cousin.
Okay.
So I grew up.
Nice.
I'm heavy around Hawkins music and whatnot. So yeah, music is my life.
Yeah, I mean the Bay has got a lot of amazing talent.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Lettucey, my friend from the Bay. Raphael Sadiq. I mean, the Bay is not slouching in any way at all.
No way. So we got to bring you to the Bay.
Absolutely.
Just,
I can't
once
wait.
this quarantine is lifted and we can actually have fun.
Yeah, a show or like something
where people can attend.
Yeah, exactly. Without a mask.
Right. Gotta do something.
Yeah, man.
So you started writing and touring. You started touring with Lauryn Hill, correct?
Yeah.
And you spent 6 years touring with Chris Brown.
I did. That's 6 years with Chris.
Did you spend during that time, were you singing background with hopes of becoming a solo artist, or did something shift in that where you said, you know what, I can do this? How was that?
I had moments, like I had record deals. I had different moments where I was offered opportunities. I released some music. I put out some mixtapes. I put out like some EPs and things like that. But honestly, being on the road became like the focus of things, because it just took, it was really consuming, and it took me a while to figure out my balance of being able to get work done and get my own solo things done and shows done while still working on the road, because I was touring. I mean, so when I first moved to LA, I moved to LA completely to focus on songwriting and to focus on myself as an artist. But literally when I moved to LA, I started working with Chris immediately, and we were nonstop touring. So that was like the time of the Fame tour. So if you remember that,
right.
Chris was everywhere, and everywhere he was, I was. So it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. It was just that it became a time thing. But then what I finally started to do was teach myself how to record, teach myself how to produce, teach myself how to mix, teach myself how to film myself. And then I also started teaching myself how to navigate in different cities and find my way around getting shows. So the best thing that I ever could have did was take my off days with Chris and fill them up with hitting open mics or hitting jam sessions or hitting different things. And that's how I started to build my fan base. And that's why, even before I signed with Hidden Beach, I was able to do shows in London and Paris and Berlin and all over the States, just off of literally word of mouth. And the great thing is I was really blessed with a lot of opportunities to be heavily featured with the different artists that I've toured with. So for instance, right now I tour with Sting, and I get to sing a duet with Sting for Shape of My Heart, Lucid Dreams. I'm heavily featured with Jill Scott. I was heavily featured with K. Michelle. So it's helped me to step out front, because a lot of those people were checking for me. So it was a good thing to help me transition. But honestly, Hidden Beach was an amazing situation because I recorded a project and I was going to put it out myself independently without anyone, as I had done all the stuff in the past. And I literally got a call. I believe I was in Germany, and it was, Bernard, my boy, Coach Bernard, and it was Steve McKeever, president of Hidden Beach. And he was like, yo, I've never done this before, but I really, really like your music and I want to sign you. I've never signed anybody that I haven't met before, but I want to do this. And I was like, wow, because it kind of came out of left field in my head. It was like, okay, I'm going to push this myself and then let things grow from there and then see what happens. But, now everything is taking a life of its own, and it's been so far so good. It's been pretty great. So I'm excited.
You said so many great points that I kind of want to highlight for those that are listening that are aspiring artists and creatives. Just the fact that you were preparing and doing work for yourself, you weren't necessarily waiting for anybody to, give you a handout or, but you were hungry and you were going pretty much, it sounds corny, but you were hungry. So you decided to cook for yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
no, it's true. It's true. I mean, I think the thing too is like with music, if you are doing something that's maybe left or left of mainstream or whatever the thing is, you have to really go out there and find your audience and find your fans and find the people that will connect to you, you know. So that's also a thing that is a lot easier now than it was even then, and it's going to progressively get easier just because we have so much contact directly with fans and with people, you know, like that kid who just did the I'm a young black man. I mean, everybody in the world is offering him record deals and all that kind of stuff, and it really touched people because it was just the way everybody was feeling in that moment. I mean, you know what I mean? I know we were feeling that way. So now it's like there's ways to connect with people directly where, you know, it takes all the other stuff out of it. So if you could just find your people, find your base, find, you know, the people that like what you do, then you don't have to worry about the labels. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Right. I think that is a very key statement, is find your people, find the people that want to hear you, you know. And I think we see so much of the other stuff where, you know, you kind of get lost in that, where sometimes I got to take a step back and say, well, I'm not on social media today. You know, but I think you hit it, you know, nail on the head that as a creator, who are you creating for? You know, find that out, figure that out, and then create with the heart of not stopping. You know, a lot of people will stop because of what it looks like, and I just feel like this time in particular for quarantine is a perfect time to really kind of hone in on what your niche or your niche is.
For sure.
So for you in this quarantine season, I know recently you've been doing a lot of, you know, speaking out and activism and things like that, but you know, the early part of the 3 months that we've kind of been locked down. And have you been in New York the whole time, or?
No, I've been all over the place. So I've been.
So you ain't been paying attention to the quarantine, obviously.
No. I've been quarantined. I mean, I fly somewhere and then I'm quarantined, and then I fly somewhere and then I'm quarantined. So I haven't been out and about. I just been, you know, moving because, like, when the last day of tour, I went to. I was in Atlanta, so I was there for a while, and then I came to New York, so I'm here, and then I'll be going home back to LA. So it's just, you know, just been moving around and getting stuff done while I've been quarantined. But definitely, when I get to wherever I'm at, like whatever city I'm gonna be in, I've been in the house.
Okay, all right. Don't be like the others.
No. Trust me, I've been here, and as soon as I walk out the door, this goes on.
Right. But have you been like, what do you do with your downtime? Like, or if you have any downtime, like,
I think
how you been spending that?
Well, this has been, I mean, as much as, you know, obviously the obvious things that everybody's dealing with. But for me, I mean, this is the longest time that I've had at home. And over, I don't know, I can't even remember the last time I've been, you know, in stationary and in one place this long. So I've been taking that time to, I've been cooking a lot. Like, I've been learning more things. I've been chefing up a lot. Like, I like to cook. So I just wanted to, like, improve my skills in that. So I've been doing that a lot. I've taught myself, like, all this different stuff, like, that I needed to know for my career. Sound stuff, lighting stuff, mixing stuff. I've been really improving on my piano stuff, like, and just taking, I've really been doing a whole bunch. I'm, you know, doing some construction stuff. Like, I've been doing a whole bunch. Yeah, just, I mean, I'm assisting, but just getting some work done, you know, on my mom's place, and just, I've been doing a lot. Like, so for me, it was like a good time to really focus in and get a lot of stuff done. I mean, the gyms were closed, so that was, a bit of a challenge at first, but now, like, I have a whole different kind of like workout routine that's changed the way I do everything and will do everything going forward. So, like, I haven't had one moment free, literally. Like, I've been doing a bunch of different Zooms, a bunch of different live streams, a bunch of now in the last few weeks, you know, protesting, advocating, just different stuff about that. And so that's taken on a life of its own too. And, you know, I've just been filling up my time with a lot of stuff. And so as much as it's obviously the obvious things that are affecting everybody. Like,
Right.
but those of us that are road warriors, that are on the road 85, 90% of the year, it's kind of been like a little bit of a sigh of relief to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah. How was it initially? Because like you said, those that are constantly on the road, some of my close friends that were in the middle of rehearsing for tours and everything just stopped. So how was that for you initially? Were you like big question mark, or how do you deal with like the unexpected as this was?
Well, I mean, I think you just work around it. For me, it was a little, it was, a split thing, because in one respect, it gave me more time to work on my solo stuff, because obviously I just signed a record deal and I have music coming out. But on the other end, my strongest thing is being live. So a big push for us was to be, touring and get in everybody's face as much as we could. So it's kind of like, dang, in one respect, now I have this whole entire summer free, which I wouldn't have had. I would have been with Sting all summer. And instead, now I'm home, so I can work on me, but I can't go out and do shows, right, which is what I need to really build me. But I've been really getting creative. Like tonight, obviously, I'll be, well, I don't know when this airs, but I'm doing a performance for KJLH tonight, right here from the crib, with my looper, and, things like that. Just been getting real creative. We did something for Amazon, we're doing something for Spotify. So we just been really thinking outside the box. I've been connecting with people a lot more, because honestly, I'm not normally like the person that has like a lot of talking or stuff like that on my page. So I've been talking a lot more, and I guess I feel like people have been really receptive to me kind of like speaking more and showing more of who I am as a person, because I guess I'm a little bit more like chill normally. So,
and I think audiences want to know. We want to know more about, those that we are fans of, Yeah. So I think it definitely has been a time for growth and connection, like you said.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope. Listen, I'm a fat man at heart, so I need to know what you can cook, like legit.
You know what, man? I can honestly cook a lot of stuff, and I'm not trying to,
I thought
like,
you were gonna say I can cook anything.
I mean, I don't want to say anything, because I'm still learning some things, like just like as far as like touch-up skills. But I could really, I love cooking soul food. I love cooking Italian food. I love Caribbean food. I'm pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. I'm actually teaching myself vegan food, and that's been interesting.
By choice.
Yeah, actually, I found this really amazing girl on YouTube, a sister, Queen. She is amazing, and she really, really seasons really well. And I always said, if I found someone who was a really good chef, cooking vegan food, I would follow it. And so when I watched a few of her recipes, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's going to be correct. Because when you cook, right, what's flavors and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. And I've tried a few of her things so far, and it's been so far so good. I don't know if 100% vegan is ever going to be a thing for me, but it's definitely,
because that was my follow-up question.
No. It's definitely something that I've been transitioning to. And when I'm touring, a lot of my friends on tour are vegans. So what happens is, naturally, I trend in that direction when I'm on the road. And, I recognize the health benefits, and I also recognize the benefits for my voice. So it's been something that I've really been trending towards.
I've heard that a lot.
I get it, bro. I totally get it. Listen, I go from having some barbecue ribs today to making a vegan meal tomorrow. But I think the thing is, it's really about the reduction of how much meat we consume, Right. So if we normally would consume 3 meals a day with meat, if you can reduce that substantially, I think that it will be healthy for us, because obviously the American diet is more meat heavy than any other diet in the world. Right. So it's kind of, it's helpful to do that just for our own health's sake, especially as Black men. We have to very much be on top of things as we get older.
Absolutely. I know we're a little short on time. Well, not that short. We got a few more moments. But I don't want to hold you too long because you're about to perform.
Yeah, man.
For the world. But I want to ask, as far as your goals for the future, what do you see for yourself? Like, what do you see? Yeah, I won't say like 5-10 years from now, but the music that you're releasing currently and all of that, what do you want the impact of you as an artist and the music that you're creating? What do you want that to be, ideally?
I mean, I would like for my music to be in as many people's playlists as possible. You know, that's my goal. I would like to be, you know, an old man still getting on stage and singing and playing keys and doing shows. And I would also like to go further with my activism and do a lot more to create change. You know, I work with a bunch of different charities, and I would like to push in that direction as well. But really, for me, what's important is happiness and freedom, and the things that promote that for me are the things that I'll do. Whatever things make me feel happy and free are the things that I will do. And I've always been like that, so that's what it's gonna be.
Got you. So when you are looking for an escape, or you need some gene time, what's your go-to musical, I won't say song, but maybe artist, and it might be a particular song, but what's your go-to? What's the thing that you listen to?
I love vibey music. You know, I like. I actually have a playlist on Spotify. It's called Smoke Session, if anybody wants to check it out. But I also, I just like vibey music generally. I play a lot of vibey stuff, things that are like, you know, either like lo-fi or, you know, I listen to Inglewood Sir and like Jhené Aiko and like things in that vein. Lucky Day, you know, like just aesthetics, beautiful aesthetics, music that, like, you know, takes you somewhere.
Absolutely.
I love Alex Isley Gone. That song is incredible. Victoria Monet Moment is incredible. There's so much good music out right now. I heard something the other day that was really good. It's called Strawberry Skies. I can't remember this brother's name, but it's so dope. Pink Sweats has some great music out. I love 17. I think that's a great song. So typically, you know, you can see my style from there.
Right,
like it's kind of like, you know, indie R&B, like vibey, that type of world. Which is kind of what I do. So.
Right. I love it. I want to say that I feel music has become such a wider spectrum than what we, you know, have been used to. And I feel like artists now have the ability to, you know, because I remember when I was, you know, younger and in high school, and, you know, I had friends that were like, oh, you know, I want to be an R&B artist. It was literally like either you're going to be a rapper, R&B artist, or a pop singer. Like, it was one of the three, or a country singer, which was weird.
Yeah, I think the thing is, that's what's great about now is that, you know, for anybody who could wait long enough, things have opened up now, and there's a lot more freedom, and there's a lot more artists that are doing their thing. Her is amazing. I can't wait till Jasmine Sullivan comes back, because I think this is the time for her to really flourish, because obviously she leads the charge in this lane. And it's a great time for people who really are into musicality. I love that I'm hearing a lot more live instruments. I love that I'm hearing a lot more bridges. I love that I'm hearing a lot more people sing with passion. You know, that is inspiring. And I also think what's also cool is things have pulled back a lot from being about looks. I think, you know, we kind of grew up in the MTV era where everything was about, like, you had to be, you know, this age, this color, this, that, whatever. And I'm noticing now that everybody's kind of like doing them, like, even from the way they present themselves and their clothing and everything, the energy is just like, yo, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And I love that as a you know what I mean, as a mantra for my music, and it's cool to see. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, sir, I want to thank you so much for
Thanks, man.
Your time. I want to give you the opportunity to let the audience know, those that are listening, how to connect with you, how to follow you, what we can expect in the near future. So, yeah, it's all you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I am Gene Noble, GENENOBLE. You could find me on all platforms, GENENOBLE. Again, I'm putting out new music. I have a new single coming out after this one, and it's called Matching Tattoos, so look out for that. And more of Too Many Lost. Too Many Lost is going to be literally everywhere. Thankfully, it's taken on a life of its own, so I'm really, really excited about that. I'm excited to get back in these streets and get some more moves happening as far as like these protests, because it ain't gonna stop, you know. If everybody hasn't heard, there's a march on Washington, August 28th, so hopefully I'll see y'all there. And in addition to that, just as soon as they say it's all good, as soon as we get the green light, as many shows as possible, I will be everywhere I can, performing and just living.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Gene
man. Thank you for having
Noble.
me.
Now, is that your full name?
GENENOBLE. So Gene is actually my middle name.
Okay.
Short for Eugene. So that's it, Gene. And Noble is actually what the word Gene means. So, and the point of my name is actually, so since we're here, even though I was saying goodbye.
It's good.
I am the third. My grandfather, my father, and me. So my father was called Gene. My father died young, and so after I lived longer than my father, I decided to take on his name and just to honor him, to do something to honor him. And my father died in the military doing something noble. So it was interesting that the name that he's called, it means noble. So that's it. That's where my name comes from.
Wow. That's beautiful, actually.
Thanks,
I lost my father last year, so
wow.
I definitely I get it, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
my condolences, man.
Thank you. This first year is crazy. So
I'm sure, and you had yours a lot longer than I had mine. So I'm sure that bond is just, you know, even that much more strong. But the great thing is to have that time to look back on and to know 100% that he's, you know, all through you. So.
Absolutely. Well, sir, I thank you again just for sharing with us. I'm honored. Listen, y'all, this is Gene Noble. This is now my new best friend.
Yeah, man.
So you've heard some of his music throughout the show, and we're going to end with one of his songs for sure. So I just want y'all to go follow him, purchase all the music, stream all the music, go listen to his playlist on Spotify. Listen, support this brother, everything he has going on. He's good people. He has a great heart, great message. And I'm excited just to be able to sit down with you and have this conversation. We'll definitely probably bring you back because once the world opens up, you know, we got to hear what else is going on for you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, man. It's great to meet you. Great to talk with you.
Likewise. That's been another episode of the Indie Takeover with your host, Jeremy Gibson, and my guest, Gene Noble. Catch us next week, same time, same place.
If I had one bullet left, would it be for you or be for me? I don't know who's more to blame for leaving me in all this misery. I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. If I had 1 minute left, I'd kiss you 50 seconds of the time. The last 10 I'd say I'm sorry, and kiss you once more right before I close my eyes. Took you for granted till you finally up and had it. Oh, I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. I shouldn't have took you for granted till you finally up and had it. Shouldn't have took you for granted. Oh, you had it. Oh.
If I had one bullet left, I shoot the clock and yeah, I flip the time. All the years that I wasted, honestly, there's no way to apologize. You shouldn't took me for granted. Yeah, hell yeah, up and had it. Yeah, you shouldn't have took me for granted. Yeah, yeah, hell yeah, up and had it.
Said some crazy things, did some crazy things, changed everything. Didn't wanna leave, but it's what you need. So sorry.